Greetings, wrestling fans, and welcome back to another All Wrestling Review. We are back again with another episode, and this time it's just going to be a bit of a shorter one tonight. Not a whole lot to really talk about when it comes to this particular week of wrestling. Normally, as I say, the All Wrestling Reviews is just me going over things that I am genuinely interested in. Now, I previously recorded this video before, and the video wasn't very good. Why? That's why. I had a light problem, and I had no lights, so I was basically recording in the dark. So, thanks to my dad finding another light bulb for me to use, I decided to scrap that video and do it again. I decided to scrap it and do it again, which, you know, so you guys can actually see. So what happened on this week's wrestling, or the amount that I watched this week? I can't say I really enjoyed Raw. Raw had a match with Ivy Nile and Maxine Dupree that never really got started because the Wyatt Six got involved. I don't know why they're even bothering with this, because American Made are just going to look like a bunch of chumps against the Wyatt Six, because, we can't have Wyatt Six look weak, because, it will be disrespectful to Bray's legacy and all that. And then you had a women's tag team triple threat, which Alba Fire and Isla Dawn retained, which I will say I am glad with that decision. I do not want Alba and Isla to lose the championships just yet. As for NXT just annoyed me with what they did with the women's wrestling this week. And yeah, I'm not going to talk about Rhea and Liv because I just do not care about the feud. I really do not care about the old Judgment Day versus the new Judgment Day. I personally do not care about it. I can't believe this is all they've got Rhea Ripley doing since coming back. No matches on Raw, just continuously segments. That's one of my biggest issues I have with wrestling today, especially from WWE. They don't have Punk wrestle on Raw. All they do is have him cut promos. You know, they just have all the top stars just cut promos instead of just having them wrestle on a weekly basis and all that. Like seriously, give us some matches for crying out loud. Anyway, so NXT didn't really improve any better. They did some kind of gauntlet eliminator to determine Roxanne's next challenger. One of the only girls that I really like in that whole match wasn't even in the match. Even though they advertised her to be in it, which was Carmen Petrovic, and then they just took her out. They just took her out by just having her getting attacked backstage by somebody, and then they took her out and replaced her. That is freaking lame. That is freaking lame. One of the only people I was genuinely interested in seeing actually win the gauntlet just gets taken out. They had Ren Sinclair, Kendall Gray, Adriana Rizzo, and Sol Ruka, and then this other girl named Jada Parker, and they had that Jada Parker win. And what a coincidence, Sol Ruka started the gauntlet, ran through everyone, and then ultimately lost. This is why I hate gauntlets. Like, why even bother? Have the person start the gauntlet, beat everyone, and then they ultimately lose to the last person or whatnot. It's so ridiculous, and I really do not like gauntlets. This is one of the biggest reasons why I do not like gauntlets. Please, stop making these gauntlets predictable. But, you know, Triple H and Shawn Michaels are apparently guys that listen to their fans. How many things have I requested that you guys haven't done? Yeah, listen to the fans, my ass. And then they had Lola Vice take on Wendy Chu, Which it's bad enough that I do not like Wendy Chu, but it's also bad enough that I don't get Wendy Chu. But it's even worse now. But it's even worse. They've got her portraying the same character, but instead she's just now a more darker version of this character. Same character, just as a heel. And the other thing that is ultimately worse, Lola Vice is a former MMA fighter. You know, WWE keep talking about how she came from the world of MMA and now she's coming into the world of professional wrestling. She's got character, she's got charisma, she's got talent, and all that stuff. Like, they always, they praise her so much. But also, they also like to hype up that she knocked out Shayna Baszler in an NXT Underground match. Sure, it's Shayna Baszler, it's not that big of a deal. But considering Shayna Baszler also has a similar background to her, and she was able to beat someone with a similar background, you would logically think the former MMA fighter who would have the massive advantage in this match, correct? While yes, that is indeed correct, but Lola Vice got beat by a pillow. Beaten by a pillow. These soft little things cracked her in the head, knocked her out, and Wendy Chu was able to beat her. Former MMA fighter getting beat by a soft little pillow. That is ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I don't care if people don't even like Lola Vice. Even if you're not a big fan of her, even you have to admit that is really stupid. Imagine if that was Shayna Baszler. Imagine if that happened to Shayna Baszler. Ronda Rousey, I think it'd be funny if it happened to her, but, you know, that's Ronda Rousey. But imagine if it's Shayna Baszler. Imagine if that was Shayna Baszler in Lola Vice's position, and then she got whacked with a pillow and got pinned. I can ultimately guarantee you, people on social media would be smashing their keyboards and telling how, and being so angry about it, and how dare they do that to Shayna Baszler. It's ridiculous. It's so dumb. If you've got a former MMA background, you should be treated, you know, like that. But instead, she gets made look like she looks completely weak. Really stupid. Then on the AEW side of things, Mercedes Moné and Britt Baker had their little contract signing tonight on Dynamite, which was great. I really enjoyed it. Still could live without Britt Baker constantly telling us that she was the first person signed in AEW. She did still bring that up, but just worded it differently. Sorry, same thing, Britt. You may have tried to word it completely differently, but no, still not interested. Still don't care about you being the first person signed. But ultimately, it was a good little segment, and Britt Baker standing tall hopefully means Mercedes will be taking home the victory. Toni Storm wrestled Saraya for the AEW Women's Championship. It was fine, a decent little match. Toni Storm would ultimately win by kissing Saraya in the face, Brie Bella, AJ Lee style, and then just dropping her with a pile driver and ultimately winning. It was a good little match though. So I'm very curious to see where they go next. I still think Saraya is going to be at Wembley. I still think they're going to do something for her at Wembley. The only thing that to me makes sense is she's going to come out, she's going to run her mouth, she's going to issue out an open challenge, and then someone like Jamie Hayter returns, and maybe Jamie Hayter maybe not squashes her, but beats her, but beats Saraya in her return. Because I tell you, Jamie Hayter really is needed right now. She's been gone for, it feels like forever now. It feels like she's been gone forever. And I think that would be the perfect way to reintroduce her. Some people have also said she will come back during the Mercedes-Britt Baker match, and they're going to reform Britt and Jamie, the Pillar and the Killer. They'll reform them. Honestly, I'm okay with Jamie Hayter coming back just to beat Saraya in an open challenge. I'd much rather that than Jamie Hayter being involved with the storyline with Britt Baker and Mercedes, because I kind of want AEW to move on from the Mercedes Britt Baker storyline once that whole thing and All In ends. Two other things I ended up watching was Claudio, formerly known as Cesaro, versus that New Japan legend Okada. I'm not a fan of the 20-minute time limit. Now I know a lot of people are going to tell me, well, here's the thing, the timer is a part of the championship or whatever, or it's a part of the championship belt or something along those lines, and I don't even know why they even need a time limit in certain matches anyway, because I always hear the commentators say that even when it's just a regular singles match, you'll just hear Justin Roberts saying, "This following contest is set for one fall with a so-and-so time limit." I don't even know why AEW is even putting time limits in their matches. But if the time limit is a part of the title's gimmick, then I guess I can understand. But that doesn't mean I have to like it. I hope they do a rematch between Claudio and Okada at some point, because it was a really good match. I've heard a lot of great things about Okada, and seeing him was a really good treat. And then finally was Swerve and Bryan Danielson. And Swerve mentioned Bryan's family, mentioned Brie, mentioned their children, and how he's going to embarrass Bryan in front of Brie and their two children. Bryan comes out and delivers a massive running knee, and the fans are still chanting yes, even though that's not his character in AEW. His character in AEW is the American Dragon. You know, I would really like Bryan to win the title. If I'm being completely honest, I'm not the biggest Swerve guy. So I'm hoping they give the belt to Bryan, because I feel like Bryan deserves a run at the top, in my opinion. I feel like he deserves a run at the top, in my opinion. So that is all I've got for you guys in this All Wrestling review. I don't have a whole lot to say about it this week. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up, and I will see you all in the next video. See you guys then.